What's going on, guys? I drove the Firebird up to New York safety track about a week ago to do a track day with some buddies. I've only been to this track once before, which was back in 2022 as an intermediate driver, and I absolutely fell in love with it. The elevation changes are insane, you get a good amount of air, and the technical bits on the back end of the track are just so much fun to plow a muscle car like this through. I will say that the name of the track is pretty ironic because there's not a whole lot of runoff, and also the trees can be pretty close by, so you have to be a little more cautious than you would be at other places, but still definitely worth the trip. I managed to improve upon my old personal best by about 3 seconds when I ran a 138.67 in the session right before this one. Most of the improvement can be attributed to me being a more experienced driver, but the car is also a little more modified than it was before. I'm definitely leaving some time on the table, especially in the braking zones, so I'm going to have to make a trip up here sometime. I was a little timid on the brakes because there's a lot of elevation changes, even in the braking zones, and with a car like mine that doesn't have ABS, it takes a lot of getting used to. The clip you're seeing is from the Expert and Instructor run group, and the car that I'm chasing is a white Cayman GT4. I believe it's a 981. I'm not sure what tires he's on, or what mods are done to the car, but we seem to be running very similar times. I know he has an exhaust on the car at least, because it's pretty loud. If you're unfamiliar with my car, it's a 95 Firebird with around 350 wheel horsepower, but I do short shift it. It weighs around 3,400 pounds without me in it. It has RT660 tires, some suspension and brake mods, and a lexan spoiler. The car has no driver aids of any kind, so you're going to hear me lock up the brakes a couple times. I'm going to drop a link in the description of a more detailed setup vid of my car if you're interested, but that's pretty much all I have for context, so I'll stop yapping now. So there's the point buy. I could tell that the Porsche was starting a cool down lap by the end, and I probably should have done the same, but I kept pushing anyway. It was the last session of the day, and I knew the checkered flag was going to come out any minute. I was definitely driving the car a little more aggressively this session, mainly because I wanted to see if I could beat my PB from earlier in the day, but unfortunately the aggression didn't translate into speed, and I just couldn't make it happen. So that's all I've got for this video today. Do me a favor and like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. Also, just a heads up, I started making throttle pedal extenders so you can heel toe downshift in a 4th gen F body. So if you have a car like mine and you're interested, shoot me an email at junkracecars@gmail.com and I can hook you up.